I love her more than I ever loved your mom, my ex to my son. My ex continues to show what a monster he has become to validate his affair. It has been an especially difficult week for my children. 17M and 14F. They had spent most of the summer with me for various reasons, and last week was the first week they had been back with their dad for the entire week. It did not go well. My daughter started to have stress responses to having to go back to his house, which exacerbated her heart condition. I message him letting him know I will be staying with her at her dance rehearsals and taking her to my house afterwards on my days. Previously he would pick her up from dance and bring her to me, but she would have meltdowns over her fear of him bringing his AP/live-in girlfriend with him, so would ask me to stay. It didn't make any sense for him to get her and take her to my house when I was already there. He had been fine with this arrangement at the end of last dance season as it helped calm her down a lot, so I assumed he would be fine with it now. He was not. He accused me of trying to intentionally hurt him and stated that I was violating the separation agreement, which I am not, as there is nothing in the agreement about transportation. There is a statement about the kids being able to choose where they want to be with permission of the custodial parent, but even though I am at her studio every day, I would only be taking her to my house on my days. When I reminded him that our daughter's cardiologist insisted she lower her stress or be put on medication that has not so great side effects, and this is what she asked to happen at this time to lower her stress, he insisted we go back to mediation. To which I responded I would not, and if he was so insistent that I was violating our agreement, he could take me to court. He will never do that because he knows I document absolutely everything, and him threatening me and the kids, moving his girlfriend into the house without even telling the kids, and his inaction on both kids' complex health conditions leading to them both regressing would not end well for him. In retaliation, when he takes the kids to his house, he sits them down and berates them both, saying they need to treat his girlfriend better, that he is an amazing dad and they need to realize how much he supports them. When my daughter asks him to list ways he is supporting them, he becomes angry and accuses her of hating him. He asks what she needs from him to feel supported, and she tells him to move his girlfriend out of the house since they had seen her for exactly 10 minutes before he moved her in with them and she doesn't treat them well. He says that's not going to happen and insists his girlfriend be included in the conversation since they are talking about her. My daughter refuses and locks herself in her room, so both my ex and his girlfriend tag team berating my son over how much he doesn't appreciate her for everything she does for them. My son is confused by this, as other than sometimes her making food, his interactions with her have been her complaining about how my ex spending time with them is affecting their relationship. My son says that he doesn't like having her there and he misses our family. His dad responds by telling him he loves her more than he ever loved me and we will never be a family again. My son informed me of this in tears, and I'm not going to lie, I am devastated hearing that. For 25 years I loved this man with my entire being. I stood by him through endless trials and supported him through job losses, losing his parents, a bankruptcy, and constant cycles of depression on his side. Then he decides 2 years ago, after my sister died and I needed additional support, that his younger coworker who treats my children like they are burdens is everything he ever wanted, and he turns into a completely different person to be with her. Now he insists he loves her more after those 2 years, one of which was him telling me how much he loved me, that I was the best person in the world and he would never leave me while cheating with her, than he ever did me throughout our entire relationship, which started in high school. I don't know how to navigate all of this. He is hostile towards me any time I try to work with him to decrease our children's stress and unhappiness. He has proven he cares less about how much our kids are struggling and more about how they treat his girlfriend. He is obviously willing to go against medical advice to try to force them to do what he wants. My son is 18 and has resorted to not even telling him when he has any appointments or events because his dad has made him feel so horrible for seeking any help. He just doesn't want him to know. He says his dad tells him his life is so easy and he doesn't need any mental health services, which makes my son feel awful. I have talked to my daughter about going back to court and talking to a judge about changing the custody agreement so she can be with me more since she is so much less stressed at my house, but she is convinced her dad will choose her eventually. She missed 21% of the school year last year due to the stress of being at her dad's and him constantly fighting with her to try to force her to spend time with the girlfriend, exacerbating her heart condition. I told her if this year starts looking like last year I will be forced to make a decision for her health. But until then she really needs to consider what is best for her and create a plan with her counselor's support on how to decrease her stress. That she should also think about what I can do differently to support her as well, and that I will do what she needs to make this all easier for her, but I will also step in if her health starts to go downhill again. And me. I continue to struggle through every second of single day trying to hold it all together and failing miserably.